Hey folks, welcome back to LeafGreen vs. Blue. We're here on whatever route this is that leads up to Victory Road, and we are facing off against our rival Blue/Green one last time before taking on the Pokémon League. It's been a couple episodes since we've seen him. Saw him in episode 11, this is episode 15. His team hasn't changed that much, but we'll go over them nonetheless. So, Pidgeot here, or Pidgeot, I still haven't decided which. The big difference, I would say, is that it has a different stat-affecting move in each generation. In 3rd generation, as he had back at Sylph Corporation, he has Feather Dance, which can lower your attack 2 stages. So that's annoying. But if you're using electricity or ice, not going to be a problem. In Gen 1, he has agility, which allows him to boost his own speed 2 stages. It's a little annoying, but his actual offensive capabilities aren't very good. They're Quick Attack and Wing Attack, which both get stabbed, but neither of them actually are very strong to begin with, so not much to worry about there. Next up is Rhyhorn. We've spent plenty of time talking about Rhyhorn in the Giovanni episode last time. Basically, it doesn't matter what it can do in one version or the other, because it will just faint to a single water or grass type move no matter what, because it's very, very slow and has terrible special defense. So, doesn't even matter. It has Horn Drill in both versions. It's not going to hit you with it. Next up, Execute. Execute is, it's very status-oriented in Gen 3 here. It's got Poison Powder, Sleep Powder, and Stun Spore. So, a whole melange of different possibilities there. And its sole offensive move is Solar Beam, which is a 2-turn charge move that leaves it open for attack while it is charging. However, 2 of those 3 status moves, Stun Spore and Sleep Powder, can make it so that you aren't able to attack. You know, if you're asleep, you're completely unable to attack until you wake up, and Stun Spore, Paralysis, you are possibly paralyzed, like is happening to Ducks right now. So if you are unlucky, it is entirely possible that he will be able to get off a lot of solar beams on you. But because he's unevolved, it's probably not going to do a ton of damage, unless you use something that is actually weak to grass. Execute does have the ability Chlorophyll, which is its speed in the sun. However, it doesn't have Sunny Day, and nothing on Gary's team actually has Sunny Day. So that's not going to matter. But if you put up a Sunny Day, it will get faster, and its solar beams will not take a turn to charge. So don't use Sunny Day against this Execute, is the moral of the story there. So if you are a little less stubborn than I am, you'll probably have an easier time with this Execute. But what I was doing here with Ducks is trying to set up a sweep, basically, for the rest of his team. You've seen Ducks do it before, obviously. Using a couple agilities and a couple Swords Dances would allow me to get very high attack and very high speed, and not only one-shot this Execute, but hopefully one-shot a lot of the other enemies on his team and totally bypass any interesting differences between the 2 versions by simply not giving them a chance to demonstrate those differences. Because that's what Ducks does. And I wouldn't have it any other way. In Gen 1, Execute is a little bit different. one thing I've noticed here is that it does have a Stun Spore, which means that Bulbapedia is wrong, because Bulbapedia says it doesn't have Stun Spore. So, much like in Gen 3, it can paralyze you with Stun Spore and then use Solar Beam, try to abuse some immobile turns to get off some easy Solar Beams. That's basically it. I don't know what else it has, because I can't trust Bulbapedia anymore, and those are the only moves that it showed. So, that's great. Alakazam, probably the most dangerous part of his team, goes down in one shot to Dux, because Dux is like that. So Alakazam does get a chance to do some real damage here in Gen 1, because, you know, this is the generation where it's super overpowered. Assuming Bulbapedia is right, which is a big assumption, I know, it's got Psychic, Psybeam, Reflect, and Recover. Definitely has Recover, I'll tell you that. So it can do a heck of a lot of damage with Psychic. It can recover damage that you deal with Recover. It can set up a Reflect so that you deal less damage with your physical moves, which you're probably going to want to use because it has high special, and that applies to special defense. So really what you need is to hit very hard with physical moves right out of the gate. Or go the long and tedious method with Poison like I did here, and I kind of wait to get lucky, I guess, because he has infinite recovers, because this is Gen 1. They don't have limited PP. Yeah, if you're not prepared for this thing, it can wreck you. It can do some real damage. But luckily, Drew is bulky enough to also survive hits pretty well from it. Next up, Gyarados. We've seen Gyarados plenty of times. You know, it's good old water flying. You know, if you have an electric move, that's probably your best bet. Or you can use an extremely buffed up Duck in order to deal damage right quick. Does have Intimidate, so again, something to look out for if you are using physical attackers. But if you're using electricity like Walter here, although this is Gen 1, that won't be a problem. Ta-da! You should know how to deal with Gyarados by now. And finally, Charizard. Again, this will vary based on your starter, but I'm dealing with a Charizard here. So Charizard, the main attacking moves are probably going to be Flamethrower and Slash, possibly Wing Attack in Gen 3, depending on what you throw at it. Flamethrower, very strong Fire-type move, 95 base power, 100% accuracy, is my fire move of choice for many situations. But if you've got a Water type, that'll resist the Flamethrower and have a stab super effective against it, so Kingsley did quite well here. And then in Gen 1, the thing to look out for, first off, Leer. Still has Leer to make your defense lower. But also, it has Slash, and because this is Gen 1, Slash has a wacky critical hit ratio, so it will almost always crit, like it did there. So it will probably do more damage than a Flamethrower, or at least comparable. I don't know. It's something to be aware of. It's something to look out for. Anyway, that wraps up our penultimate rival battle for this series. We just have the champion fight left. And indeed, that wraps up the main portion of this series. All that's left is the Pokémon League, the Elite Four, and the champion. So, starting in the next episode, we will be facing off against our final foes. And I hope it's everything you dreamed of over the past 5 years that this series has been in production. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.